So, tomorrow is Memorial Day. The topic for this month is spiritual laws and how to use them. And my title today is No Matter What, or Principle is Not Bound by Precedent. Has anyone in our community here served in the military? Would you please stand for us? If you have served in the military, great. Let's hear. Is there anyone that has family who has served in the military? Please stand up. Because, wow, let's hear it. Because as family members, you know that you serve just like a military person. You had time away from your loved one while they served. And that's a huge dedication to your family. Well, I want to welcome you of service, Nancy Yee. And I want to thank you for your gift of service and for the family's gift of service. I came across this on the internet and I wanted to share it with you. This weekend I'm going to do something different for Memorial Day. I'm going to buy some carnations and go to the nearby cemetery, walk through the section for soldiers, and when I find a grave that has no flowers, I'm going to leave a carnation and say a prayer for that soldier and their family who for some reason could not bring their soldier flowers today. I will pray for our country and all who serve and have served, for their families who also serve by losing precious days, weeks, months, possibly years spent with their loved ones, or who are off serving now. Preserving peace and the freedom we have in this country. I'll pray for the families who have paid the ultimate price, whose loved ones made their transitions or were taken captive and never returned. I'll pray for anyone who may still be held in captivity and thinks perhaps maybe they are forgotten, because we do not forget. We do remember. We will never forget why we are free and for whom we are eternally indebted. It has been written, it is the doom of man that he forgets. It's from Excalibur. So, Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, principle is not bound by precedent, and there's no law in the universe that seeks to perpetuate old, limited ways of thinking. But there is a law which responds to our greater vision, to the exact level of our belief. We can never demonstrate or prove the principles outside what we believe. This is why we get to a certain point, and sometimes we feel that we can't quite go any further, because we get to the level of our belief and we're held there. You know, we may say that I don't believe that. But our life shows what we do believe. And for me, this was a aha moment where I threw the textbook across the room. It's like, why is it like that? Why can't I just believe it and it be so? And as I was teaching my foundation students this week, it's done unto us as we believe, not as we think we believe. Or will you see it when you believe it? Or will you believe it when you see it? Show me the money. I'll believe it when I see it. And maybe that's why we haven't demonstrated yet. Maybe we need to have our belief expand first and be okay with that. No matter what, we must believe that a change can be made. If spirit was bound by a precedent, then we would only get to go so far. But it's not. It's not bound by anything. Some people say sky is the limit. Well, in this teaching, sky is not even the limit. In universal teaching, there is no limit. You get to believe whatever you choose to believe, and surround yourself with people that believe the same thing. In Living the Science of Mind on page 216, Dr. Ernest Holmes writes, when we realize that all the spiritual power there is at our disposal, and that no matter how limited a viewpoint we may have had yesterday, with all its limitations that follow that viewpoint, today we can increase our field of inward awareness. Then we make possible a greater influx of the divine through the human, that is, through our own thinking. Change your thinking, change your life. So how do we change our thinking? What is a belief? A belief is simply a thought that has been thought over and over and over again to where we believe it is so. When we woke up in the morning, this morning, we got out of bed, each one of us made it here. You didn't say a prayer, most of us, to pray the ground was there. I pray the ground is there this morning. I knew it was there last night when I went to bed. You knew it was there, or you would have not stepped out of bed. You would have stood on the bed and looked over, prayed for there to be floor there. You jumped out of bed and went on with your day. That's the type of belief we need to have about the things we want to be in our life, the things we want to do, and the things we want to have. When we believe that they are already there, they are there. So how do you do that? How do you believe? You know, my rational mind says, it's not there. What you want is not there. Have you seen your checkbook lately? And I have to, at some point go, okay, well, that may be the fact, but that's not the truth. I am an unlimited being with unlimited potential. I can choose to be, do, and have whatever I want. All humankind is more or less following the patterns of thought in which it has been immersed. What thoughts have you been immersed in? I'm soaking in it. Palm olive, remember? You're soaking in it. You are. We swim around and wonder where love is in this world, just like a fish would swim around wondering where water is. Where's the water? We are immersed in the very saturation of love. We are love personified when we act a part. And that's the one-liner afterwards, when we act the part. When we don't act the part, the universe always says yes. Let me show you how challenging it can be. Because there's been times that I believed that it was challenging. We've all had those times. What is the world predominantly thinking about in this moment? Where do you look for your sources? And if you look for the TV, you have that remote control thing, off. Click it to off, or the rock and roll station, put the rock station on, or meditation, or something that's going to bring you to a new plateau of consciousness. Because some of the news is pretty much bickering. A lot of bickering's going on. Who's this? Who's that? You know what? There is a field between right and wrong. I will meet you there. Because that's where truth is. That's where truth is. I'm not to say one way or the other is right or wrong, but the energetic of the argument will keep you in the argument. It's time to click that stuff off. Turn it off and turn on the Travel Channel or the Animal Planet or something that makes you feel better. So no matter what, we should start with an understanding of the power of infinite intelligence. Something created our beings. I call this our spacesuit. Our souls, as my guru, my father, would tell me, he says, Your body is a place where your soul parks itself for an instant in eternity. An instant. I'm like, Dad, this is the longest instant I have ever experienced. He goes, I know, but imagine that it's only an instant and that the only thing that you will remember are the good times. The challenging times will dissipate back into the nothingness from which they came. Are you creating memories you can remember? I had to all right, that's enough for this week, Dad. You take some time with that. This power is not limited in any way except through our beliefs. The power is infinite. Infinite. Our minds can't even wrap around that thinking. It's so big. What's beyond the last star that Hubble can see? More, forevermore. No matter what, we must recognize the power is within us. That power that creates worlds, the stars, it's the same power within us. Believing we are finite makes us forget that we have access to this greater power. We forget that it is within us, always has been, always will be. It is our very life force. It is what allows us to think. So, as well as doing a treatment so the ground was there this morning, did you do a treatment in the middle of the night so that your heart would keep beating? I pray my heart beats through the night. No. Did you pray that your breathing would continue through the day? Automatically, something is beating our heart, breathing our body, digesting our food, sending all the right cells to all the right places in our bodies, all at the same time for billions, countless people all at the same time, as well as creating more genius in every thought that we have all the time. Is that cool or what? I mean, that's like so profound. So no matter what, we need to recognize the power that is within us. No matter what, we need to identify with this power. There's not God and us. There's God as us. We are God in form. Now, if I say I'm God and I think nobody else is, that's the wrong interpretation. Every cell of each one of our beings is God in form. It could be no other way, or we would not be able to take our next breath. We would not be able to digest our food or beat our heart. We may be able to control our breathing to a point, but as any youngster knows, I'm going to hold my breath until I get my way. Right? It only works so long until you turn red and your body breathes. I am that which thou art. I am that which thou art. I am God in form. Every cell of each one of our beings is God in form. That is activating the power within us. This is where the miracle happens. This is where one week somebody goes to the doctor and they have a so-called dis-ease. And they come home and they rethink something. And the next week it's not there. When they change their mind and they're no longer a suitable host for that dis-ease, something can change. Something can make itself new again. We can restore ourselves to our original state of perfection anytime we choose to. But for some reason, we have chosen to have our experience our situation. We're all learning something wonderful. Now, if the universe could just step in when we have a challenge without our invitation, nobody would be here right now because we'd all be perfect. But we must invite it in. We must say, this too is good, this too is God, and I demand to see the blessing in this right here and right now. We must invite it in and say, you know what, God, I may not know, but I know that there is a power within me that does. And when we do that, when we finally get to the end of our own human existence of power, we turn on a fountain that can never be turned off, that comes from within. When you drink from the inner well, you will never be thirsty again. I used to drive by the liquor store and go, you know, there's not enough alcohol in there to really quench my thirst. Because I was drinking from the wrong source. I thought it all came from out there. And I was taught, go out there and fight for what you want. Go out there and get yourself something. Go out there and make yourself something. And I had to understand that I needed to, rather than paddling so hard upstream, turn my canoe around and drift. That there wasn't anything upstream I wanted. Everything starts to be drawn to you. This is the way the law works. When you are an attractor of positive energy, everything you need comes to you easily and effortlessly. But I thought you had to fight. You know, I was taught, you gotta fight for what you want. And boy, my life was a fight. I was a fighter. Nobody wanted to be around me because I wanted to fight everybody. People were avoiding me because I was a fighter. But it's up to you. You know, you can paddle upstream if you'd like. When you realize that your paddle is just to be put in the water for direction. Get to the shore that you want to go, the beach that you want to see. It makes life a lot easier. When we realize that all the spiritual power there is at our disposal, and that no matter how limited a viewpoint we may have had yesterday, today we can increase our field of inner awareness. No matter what, we need to increase our expectation of it working in us, as us, through us, because it is us. There's no separation. There is just an appearance of separation. And if we buy into that appearance, the universe will always say yes. Let me show you how separated you are, because that's what you believe. It's just a small change in energy. I used to want more money. I want more money. And more bills would come in, and I'd say, well, how did that work? Well, I got the want of more money. See how that works? Subtle energy change. But when I realize that I have all the money in the universe, it's a change in perception. And once I feel rich, richness is bestowed upon me. Wow. It's a total different viewpoint. That no matter what I'd done before, no matter what I did previously, I can change today. We are in the moment of power right now. So no matter what, continue until it is real to you. I am one with all the power there is. I am one with the presence. There is only one life, and that life is God, and that life is my life right now. This power, this presence, and this life are perfect, complete, whole, and happy. There are new thoughts, new ideas coming to me. I am open, my wholeness of consciousness, to that influx that is larger and better every moment. I identify my mind with the inner peace and joy. Right here, a certain amount of adventure, of imagination, must be brought into play to create a feeling of acceptance which will break down these old thought patterns. So check in with yourself. When you identify an old thought or belief, don't beat yourself up over it. Let it go. Just like a bloodhound who's been after the rabbit, who finds that they're off the scent. They go and they try to find the scent right away. They don't need a workshop or a book or maybe to call their therapist. But those are good things. If you've lost the scent, maybe those are the things we need to do to refine the scent, because we don't have the smell of the bloodhound. We don't have that beautiful gift of smell that they have. We have a consciousness that we've been given to think differently. So dust off your imagination and allow yourself to play. It's time to play. Now is the time to play. Get yourself some crayons. When was the last time you played with watercolors and made a mess? Really? Come on. Some of you are like, I do that all the time. It's fun to play. You know, I was taught to color inside the lines, and my life was a color inside the lines life. A lot of the fun is outside the lines. Just don't get carried away, all right? Just keep yourself within reason. You know, you start dancing outside the lines and people may look at you funny, but you know what? That's their problem. Don't make it yours. So in conclusion, no matter what, let go of limiting thinking that might be binding our divine potential. Choose words, feelings, and actions that speak the truth of your vision and who you choose to be in your life. And look forward with eager expectancy to the result, for principle is not bound by precedent, no matter what. And so it is. Thank you. Well, it's time for our healing prayer. Let's bring the lights down a little so they can see this beautiful mural, right? So if you'd like to close your eyes, if that's comfortable for you, or take a soft focus on the mural or the candles or whatever takes you deeper, let's remember who we are right now. Let's follow our teaching. So I invite you to bring to mind what you believe the energy of creation is for you. As I remind myself that I believe that there is a power that guides the stars and causes the sun to shine. It grows the grass and beats my heart. I know that that power is available to everyone who chooses to know it. And as we activate that power by giving it attention, by remembering who we are, it is active in our life. For we are one with that power. Speak a word for anyone, anywhere who is asked for prayer. Be it written or typed or spoken or just in the subconscious regions of our mind where we may have said, God, help me. I know there's another way. I now activate that energetic by allowing it to rush in and be active in a way that makes sense to us, in a way that identifies itself and allows there to be a connection, a revealing of the truth, a healing in a situation. I know that something wonderful is happening. I may not know what your situation is, but I know that God does. And I know as we put our attention from the challenge onto what we believe, that's what grows. For energy flows where our attention goes, and as we think about what we believe God to be, it activates that power in a way that allows miracles to be the everyday, right here and right now. So I give great thanks for the miraculous energy of the universe that is happening right now. Thank you, divine, loving, spiritual energy, for the love that is happening right now and always. So I let go as I place these words directly into that living, loving law of mind where I believe it is already done. For truly I believe it is already done with every fiber of my being, as I release this word by saying, and so it is. Amen.